to the place where singles shine, celebrating life, divine by design. In faith and love, we intertwine. Route 77, where your journey's prime.
Welcome to a special episode of the Route 77 podcast. Join us today as we delve into a unique exploration of music and reflection. Amidst the bustling Easter weekend and personal milestones, today's episode takes a melodious turn. We're revisiting the core of Route 77 Ministries through the lens of music, sharing songs inspired by our mission and pillars. So tune in as we blend discussion with AI-generated tunes, offering a fresh perspective on singleness, faith, and community. Welcome to the Route 77 podcast. I am your host, Natasha, and I am here with Monique.
Hello.
But no, David.
Nope.
It's been a crazy long weekend and trying to sort out schedules and
It's the Easter long weekend.
Easter
We had
long-
Good Friday and we had choir and we had
work, school papers, and your daughter
my
in the
daughter
hospital.
in the hospital. So I was in the hospital the entire weekend.
And then today is the 1st of April is your birthday.
Yes. There was this post on Facebook where this lady said that today I am older than I was yesterday. And I said, yes, me too, by a whole year.
Just think if you did it like the Korean ones did it, you would already have done your birthday year. And you would have been like, oh, it's a.
No, but it was fun. We went out to Boston Pizza the other night and I got a little, but because I'm in the hospital so much with Amber, I was just exhausted, but I was hungry. I had a craving, so I had to have it. Nachos and cheese. They make it pretty good there. And of course it was only the half size because the full size, yeah, my eyes might be big, but they're not that big. And then you had gone to talk to the waitress, I guess, about and she comes by with this bowl and she's kind of covering it. And I'm going, that's an awful weird bowl of salad. And then I'm going, but because my brain wasn't computing.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. And I'm like, we're getting a salad?
After dinner salad. That's what everybody has nowadays.
But it was their lava cake with ice cream and a candle in it on fire. I'm just like, that's not salad. Oh my gosh, my poor brain.
So
Yep.
you got to enjoy it.
I did. Yeah, I was seriously sick full. And I said, thank goodness for grapefruit juice. So like,
That's our tip for the day. If you want to know, grapefruit juice is good for digestion. So often I'll have some just before I go to bed. Does not have to be a lot. Pineapple juice too, but I find that too sweet. So it can be either.
it can be either.
And if you're on medication for high blood pressure, then you cannot, from what I think it is high blood pressure, or
Yes.
that you can't have grapefruit juice.
Yeah, some people can't have the grapefruit juice because of medication.
So.
Yeah. Isn't that strange?
It's weird. It's like a fruit.
Then you've got to, I ask myself, so exactly what's in the medication that you can't have fruit?
That it's a specific fruit and it interacts with it in a negative
Right.
way. And you're like, what the heck? It's like, how?
So bizarre. Yeah. And today was a good day too.
Yes.
Because it was brunch and then there was presents and then a little Cora was we go to Cora's quite frequently.
Yeah, but once a month or so.
Yeah. And they actually made out of an apple a swan with and it has sparkler in it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so great. That was very cute. That was probably a little bit, I love the chocolate and stuff, but because I was so full.
Yeah.
But this was a nice little.
Yeah. It wasn't super.
It wasn't. Yeah. And it was healthy.
It's an apple. Because that's a
An
little bit
apple.
of.
That's with some sweet sauce around it. No, I like that. It was nice. So it was a nice birthday.
Yeah. That's good.
And Jenna has said, because our friend Jenna showed up as well, just to sit and chat with us. She messaged me later saying we should go and do something, the three of us.
And I know David.
Once everything settles down. Yeah.
And David wants to do something with us too. So.
Yeah.
No, we still need to go to the VR place.
We still need to go to the VR place because that was supposed to be what we were going to do for my birthday. That got a veto.
Cold.
It just that was
still
still
do it.
cold. Yeah, so it's all good.
Lots of plans.
Yep. Things to do on a person's birthday, in case you were wondering.
Yes. So today I thought, because recently I've gotten into playing around with AI music
I don't know how you think you could,
development.
not even a little bit.
And I have
1,100 songs you've created from one.
variations that I had to work with. So I have to wait till next month till I can do any more because I've only got a few left now. So I have 4 songs that I've created using Suno. It's an AI music generator. And I coupled that with ChatGPT to help me write lyrics based on our mission and some of our pillars. So I thought it would be a good idea just to review what we are as Route 77. If there's any new listeners and they didn't want to start at the beginning and
Go through all of that.
yeah, and we went through a very in-depth on each one of our pillars and what we were as a mission, what our mission statement was. And if you want to know more details, then I would definitely recommend going back to the beginning. And we have who we are and all of our pillars. We have an episode each for those. So you can get more in depth if you feel like you want to know some more
About who we are and what we're about. And
yeah. And as I talk about these, I'll actually include in the podcast the
Those
music, the songs. And I can pass them along to people too if they want because they're mine. I own them.
Yep. And when we get our website
Up and running, I should have finally time this week.
those songs will be on there
Yes,
too.
they'll be on there hopefully to download if people want to, because I feel like there's just not a lot of songs out there that resonate with single people trying to find their way. Yeah. So if you're,
I have to admit, some of the songs are pretty darn cool.
and it's been fun to play around with it. And I will say too, if you're not big into the songs, they're only like between 2 and 3.5 minutes long, depending on the song. So
most of them are too.
Yeah, it's a little over 2 minutes. So it's not like you have to listen through like a slog full of songs. There's 4. We've only done the mission and 3 of the 5 pillars. So next month I'll try to get the next couple of them done. And then who knows where it'll go from there because it's been a lot of fun to play around with it.
And our website will just have the singles playlist.
Yeah, that's what I'm creating on mine. It's like the Route 77 playlist. So it's been interesting because, yeah, like that very first one I made for Route 77 about its mission, it just resonated with me. And I'm sitting there, I don't want to be boastful, but I'm just listening to this one on repeat because I felt like it connected with it.
The funny thing is that you're not big into the music. I mean, you like music.
Yeah.
There sometimes we'll go through and you'll start singing these silly songs. I'm just like, that's funny. Because I'm the person like I listen to music. If I can't listen to music on a day, I got to listen to a song somewhere.
Yeah. You're very much, it's always on in the car and everything.
Yep.
And I'm more of a talk person. Like
Yep.
I'll listen to podcasts, I'll listen to talk radio, I'll listen to audiobooks and music. While I enjoy it, it's not on the top of my list of things to listen to.
So if you're listening to a song on repeat,
yeah,
it's got to be good.
And what's nice is like when you're making it, you can make the songs in the genre that you enjoy. But I've been trying to be a type of genre so that it's not just like all the same thing. And if a person's not into that, then they're like, ugh, it's all going to be this. So I try different variations. And I also tried I tried to make them make sense for the topic they were discussing too. So the first song is called My Own Way. And that's the one that's based off of 1 Corinthians 7:7, which is our ministry verse.
Yeah.
And our mission statement is that we want to provide a biblical view of singleness and help people develop a healthy and active single life. Our subheading as a ministry is redeeming singleness.
Yep.
Because we feel like, especially within the church, because the society, there's only so much you can do with it. But when you're coming from within a church ministry, she should be able to influence that section of life if you feel God calling you towards that. And within the church, it really feels like it is very marriage oriented and that everything is geared towards that. You're encouraged towards it, like it's an expectation of where you're supposed to go next. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to have kids. You're supposed to then stay married for a jillion years. Then you have grandkids. Then you retire and then you die.
If you're lucky, you might get a great grandchild.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this sort of, and even when you see like what is celebrated within a church, like there's a lot of, oh, so-and-so's engaged, or these people had their child, or it's like their anniversary when they get to some significant ones. And if you're a single person, like essentially you would never get celebrated within the church until you become like 80.
And then they start celebrating your birthday. And
Yes, because they're like,
wow,
they're surprised you're still alive at that point. And they're like, we got to sell stones, save stuff now because they don't know this is the last. So we got to celebrate after you're 80. So it's a long way to wait for a single person to really feel like
recognized.
I'm actually a part of this and I'm celebrated for being alive. Because I made it to 80. Woo! But if you didn't make it that far, then
Too bad.
So again, we're not anti-marriage or anti-kids. And these are definitely things to celebrate.
Oh, yes.
And getting engaged, getting married, having kids, like those are all celebratory things.
I love watching baby baptisms. They're so sweet.
And like anniversaries are exciting for people. And it's all positive.
And it's so shocking when kids you taught in Sunday school are all of a sudden getting engaged and married. During
having kids. Weren't you in pigtails 3 minutes ago? It's like,
I was pretty sure I just taught you last week. When did you grow up so suddenly?
So we're not anti that. We definitely think those are things to celebrate.
Yes.
We just think that there's more to celebrate than just that.
Yes.
We want
Whether you're married or single, they're all a gift of God.
Exactly. And that's the big part of the song. My Own Way is just talking about it's not saying, oh, I want my way. It's some sort of selfish thing. It's just saying like my way might look different than the other ways.
Right.
And that doesn't mean it's any less valid.
Right.
And so.
Yeah, because just because you're a single person, those, when are you going to get married questions should not be a part of the vocabulary.
Like I've mentioned before, like just ask people what's new. Because if there is a relationship or something to say in that department, they'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And then you can continue on with the questioning if they're like, oh, yeah, I'm engaged or I'm seeing a guy or we've been married for 3 years or then you can.
And then you said they're going, did I miss something?
Exactly. Have I married?
Hey, what?
COVID. We'll blame COVID.
We'll blame COVID.
So, so we just ask people, hey, what's new? What's up? What's exciting for you? And if it's relationship related, they will tell you. And if it's not, then they'll tell you about what is exciting in their life.
Yeah.
And then you can continue the conversation. So that's just something, because even as a single person, you can get caught up in that because it's like what you ask.
Yes.
You can say, hey, how's it going? What's new? But you'd be like, oh, so did you find anybody? Or like, it can be something.
Have you dated?
Are you looking for something?
Right. So save yourself the embarrassment and say, so what's new?
Yeah, exactly. But so that's like the purpose of Route 77. It's just to really help people to embrace the moment that they're in. And if they're single, then embrace it and live it. And if it changes, okay. If it doesn't change, okay. We call it Route 77 as the idea of a road.
Yeah.
Because we're on a road and the destination is not marriage. The destination is heaven.
Yep.
And marriage is merely a lane in the road or on the road. And it's a milestone along the way as opposed to a destination.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just stop at marriage and then don't move forward anymore, then there's an issue. So that's like the idea behind why we started Route 77. And if you want to know more, look back on our first episode called Hello, My Name Is, and you'll find out more about Monique and David and myself and our own stories and why we started this ministry.
So is this where you're going to put in the song?
Yeah. So here's the song.
Here's the song.
They say from the one, don't wait too long, but I hear a different kind of song. Paul spoke of gifts and mine's right here, walking my path crystal clear. I'm living my life, got my own kind of sway. God's got me whether night or day. Solo but solid, it's like I stay. Route 77, it's my highway. This is my own way, I'm lost and found. In His love, I'm heaven bound. Gifted to be me, uniquely free. In this solo journey, I got the key. Different paths, different calls. In this life, one size doesn't fit all. Singleness, so together it's all His plan. Living our gifts, that's a stand. I'm living my life, got my own kind of sway. God's got me whether night or day. Solo but solid, it's like I stay. Route 77, it's my highway. What's meant for me won't pass me by, gifted in His sight. This is my own way, not lost but found. In His love I'm heaven bound, gifted to be me, uniquely free. In this solo journey I got the key. No need to rush, no need to find what's meant for me. Won't pass me by, gifted in His sight. On this solo journey I got the key. No need to rush, no need to find what's meant for me. Won't pass me by, gifted in His sight. On this solo journey I got the key. On this road I'm not alone. God's love, the grace I've ever known. Said He said my story, my song. In His grace, this is where I belong.
And that was the song.
Nice. I like the song.
So next, when we were creating Route 77, we realized that we wanted there to be a foundation that we were laying things on, or like a reason why we were doing it. Not just a general statement, but we wanted what we called our pillars. We ended up with 5 pillars. So this, like the things that are supporting the ministry that we have,
Yeah.
and what we want to do with it. And I have made songs for 3 of the 5. You'll have to wait for like next month at least, because when my subscription renews, to do those other 2 songs.
Or are we only going to do those 3
No,
things? Or
we're-
you can do the other 2 when you have those
As the
songs.
songs, we can review them then. But so the first one was accepted, because I think the biggest thing as a single person is that you, in a church that's so focused on marriage, you feel like you don't belong.
Yep.
And that's really hard when
Yep.
you feel like you're like the odd person out, or a square peg in a round hole, and you're just off to the side, like nobody knows quite what to do with you. And if they could just get you married off, then it'll be okay. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the song that I got created was called Accepted in Grace.
Do we want to play that now?
We can play it right now.
Okay. We can play that right now, and then we'll go into the
What?
discussion.
Okay, so here's Accepted in Grace.
In a world where pairs are glorified, it's easy to feel alone, pushed aside. But in His eyes we're never overlooked. Every story, every heart, He's intimately looked. Accepted in the arms of grace we stand, singly part of His grand plan. In the body of Christ we all belong, different voices, one family singing a song. From the widow's quiet tears at night to the joyful single dancing in the light, each journey unique yet intertwined. In the tapestry of faith, together we're designed. Accepted in the arms of grace we stand, singly part of His grand plan. In the body of Christ we all belong, different voices, one family singing a song. Never married, divorced, or widowed lanes. Our paths are different, but His love remains. No temporary status can define the eternal value of the divine. We're not missing pieces, not incomplete. In the Creator's eyes we're whole, unbeat. In the congregation we take our place, single lives of significance, full of His grace. Accepted. Accepted in the arms of grace we stand, singly a part of His grand plan. In the body of Christ we all belong, different voices, one family singing a song. Accepted, cherished, we are His own. In the kingdom of heaven we
that was accepted in grades.
They're actually really quite profound, these songs.
And I truly attribute ChatGPT to understanding the concepts I'm trying to get, because we have written out what all of our pillars stand for.
Right.
And then pairing that with relevant verses.
Yeah.
Is how I asked ChatGPT to create the songs.
Yeah.
So then it takes a few iterations. Can you make a little more of this, a little bit less? And I just make little tweaks. But generally, it takes what I want as a whole.
But I like that it mentions about divorced and married and widowed, that it doesn't matter. In Christ, we are all accepted, regardless of our status, regardless of who we are, where we are in our life, all that kind of thing. So I think that's
It's profound.
Profound.
From what, and again, I will just put that on ChatGPT for being able to do that, because it was just.
Yeah, because ChatGPT is really a very neutral ground, but it will incorporate your faith thoughts based upon what you've already given it to say. I want you to say this, so will you say this? So it does.
So it works with quite a few anchored ones. This is the acceptance. So yeah. So what I like too is that it has access to a lot of like commentaries and like the Bible and various versions. Like it has the access to those things. So it can take what it knows that I want, like we're looking at a Christian perspective, usually a conservative Christian perspective, and understand where we're coming from.
I like verse 2 the best, I think.
And it's just
because I'm sitting there going, hey, is that me in that verse? From the widow's quiet tears at night to the joyful single dancing in the light. Like, yeah, I got that. I dance.
And
those tears were long gone.
But they're there at one point. And also, I love that they included, even though I didn't ask for it, the tapestry of faith, because actually the imagery of a tapestry has been very relevant for me.
And it is for me too, because you see this. Have you ever done needlepoint?
I have.
Okay. So you know the mess it makes on the one side where it's all these strings hanging out and it's just a dark.
And even on the regular side, like it's pieces, like it's very piecemeal for a long time before it
actually starts to look like a picture.
And the thing is, when we do any sort of needlework or anything like that, you're going in a certain pattern. But when you have like the tapestry of faith that's going on with God's plan, like there's just needles and thread going in and out all over the place. And you're like, how is this ever going to make sense?
Yeah.
And yet when you look at the final picture, you're like, wow, everything fit exactly where it was supposed to.
Yeah. And even if you are like further along in your faith journey, say somebody like me who is this close to the 6 zeros mark, if you look back on your faith journey and where God has woven his grace into your life. And sometimes my heart just breaks. It's the only word I can express, because it's that, but it's not a sadness breakup break. It's where my heart just, I don't know, I can't describe that feeling, but it's just like, God, you were so amazing. And my heart just fills up so much that it bursts open.
A couple of souls.
And then it comes down on my face. I'm sorry.
It squeezes up eyes.
It is a beautiful verse, so I really like that.
Yeah. And because it keeps the idea, it says, never married, divorced, or widowed lanes. Our paths are different. His love remains. But it keeps that road imagery that from our ministry. I'm keeping it all in the same dialogue within ChatGPT for the songs.
Yeah.
So it's just, we've talked a lot about the negative sides of AI.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to think that we're anti-AI.
No. Well, you use it a lot.
I use it quite a lot because it covers the areas that I'm not great at.
Yeah.
And I think we can definitely use these tools in a God-fearing, redeeming way.
In a respectful.
And so this is definitely, people can go, oh, you're going to lose jobs with the music industry and whatever. And I'm like, I think there's always going to be a place for people because music's about being true in the heart.
Yep.
And
you're always going to have people who will create music that,
and the music that song, like the things that survive.
Yep.
If you look at the old hymns that survive, like
Yes.
how many we look at some of these people who wrote like 800 hymns or 1,000 hymns, but only 3 or 4 have survived the ages and meaning.
Mhm.
And the same thing with any songs. Like there's certain songs that come from every era that stay, but they stay for a reason.
Yep. Yep.
And I think when it comes to AI, it's just a different way of developing that.
Yep.
And again, I think there'll always be a place for recording artists and people who develop the music. That's definitely like their soul and heart is in that.
Exactly. Yep. And whether you are one of those kind of people who can write music and put it to instruments and get the whole thing going, or you're just somebody who has a heart for making something beautiful, regardless, it's still
And the thing is, for us, like a tiny ministry, we don't have a budget for music development.
no. We don't
I
even
barely
have
have
a
a budget for the $13 a month that this costs. I'm probably going to keep it for a limited amount of months. But that's so I can take something, and I'm paying for the chat GPT as well, because that's something I use quite often in this ministry. But yeah, like and to have access to this where I can develop these things is just very special.
God willing, if we become a much bigger ministry, then,
We
who
can
knows?
hire people like Apologize Canada can hire a person who's in music and could do all their music.
That's Troy, right?
Troy, yes, he's very good.
He is
He's
very good.
definitely better than my songs. But between David and Monique and I, our skill set is not in the development and design and creation of music. We can sing the music if we wish to, Monique being in the choir, and I do enjoy singing, but it's not like we could go from beginning to end and creating.
We're not going to go on tour.
No, and we're not going to go and learn a number of instruments so that we can play them and then go into the recording studio, and it would just not be feasible.
That would take me a long time to pick up my musical skills again.
Yeah, mine were hot cross buns on the recorder. And if I'm really skilled, I can play 2 at the same time.
Oh, there you
As long
go.
as we only use the top. Yeah, they're just like kind of like a side note about just AI and creating a music. I think this is just something that gives people like us a chance to get something out there that we feel like is not being met in society or in the church.
And when you can't afford to pay for copyright to borrow somebody else's songs, to be able to make your own that you can use, because I like music. I like putting music to things.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can use, we created, so this today, you'll actually may have noticed when you came onto the podcast, the music was different.
Yeah.
Because I was able to use Suno to create an intro music that's just ours. And I just have the standard membership. So I'm not allowed to actually make money off of it. So I think is what the rules is for that one. If I want, I'd have to go the tier up, the professional or whatever. But we're not looking to make money from this music. We're using to save money.
Yes, exactly.
And up to now, I was using just a standard that was available through Adobe Video Editor, and which is great. Like it allows you to do whatever amount of time you need, and it's there, and it's not free because I paid for a program, but it's essentially free. Like I can use it. It's royalty free.
Yeah.
But this allows us to create these things.
Yeah. After 1 year of doing this ministry, we have yet to ask anybody for any money.
Yes, it's planning to be there to once I get the website up,
people to sponsor.
To hopefully we can set up donations if people feel called to do that. Again, it's not anything we're requiring of people.
No,
but we want to allow people to feel like they can be a part of this ministry and help us to move forward and get things that we need
to help support us so that we can keep going.
So on to this, that's being accepted. Yes.
Please accept us. So then we got Anchored.
Yeah. So Anchored was the next one I created the song for. And this really meant something to me because when my marriage with my ex fell apart, like I literally felt like I was bobbing around an ocean in a storm.
Yep.
That is what I felt.
Yep.
And I understood in that moment that I had anchored all of my foundation, identity, and myself building your house on the sand of marriage.
Yep.
Like all my foundation was marriage. I was still married. I was married. Regardless of everything else, I was married. That's what was most important. So when that got threatened, that's when I felt so anchored.
I had the same thing. And I remember that feeling of when that marriage was gone, who am I? I didn't know who I was anymore.
Yeah, it was just
So here you've got the song for Anchored.
Yeah, I had to find it because I went through quite a few iterations of it. Just trying to make it
The way I wanted it
Anchored
to
and
be.
Alive is the one I had. I think is what we end up calling it. Yeah, Anchored and Alive.
So we'll play that one here.
Yeah, here's Anchored and Alive.
In a world that chases after dreams of two, I found a rock, truth so deep from you. An idol's whisper, a fleeting shade, but in your arms my foundations lay. Anchored and alive, in your love divine, on solid ground, where your lights shine. Not waiting, not just surviving, in your grace I'm thriving. In your grace I'm thriving. The tide of life, it pulls and pushes me, but I stand firm in your sea, I'm free. Magic gift, but not my soul aim. In your purpose I find my claim. Anchored and alive, in your love divine, on solid ground, where your lights shine. Not waiting, not just surviving, in your grace I'm thriving. In your grace I'm thriving. Anchored and alive, in your love divine, on solid ground, where your lights shine. Not waiting, not just surviving, in your grace I'm thriving. In your grace I'm thriving. In your grace I'm thriving. Single but not alone, I walk this path. With every step I face no wrath, for in your will I find my stride. Anchored in you, with you as my guide. Active in faith, in love, in every deed. Your spirit's enough, it's all I need. Not bound by the world's narrow view. In your wide embrace, life's ever new. Anchored and alive, in your love divine, on solid ground, where your light shine. Not waiting, not just surviving, in your grace I'm thriving. In your grace I'm thriving. In your grace I'm thriving. Active in your call, in your grand design, I stand tall. Solo journey, but in you complete. Anchored and alive, in you I'm complete. I'm complete.
And that was Anchored and Alive.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
It's really amazing to me how I hate using the word profound all the time, but it just fits so well, right?
and I think that's the beauty of ChatGPT is that it has such a large amount of human writings to draw upon
Right.
that it understands from a AI perspective of what it takes to create a song,
Mm-hmm.
what creates emotion, like what is required within it in a way that we don't really think about.
Okay.
And to me, that's what I think. Like it has so many examples in its banks of information of what makes a song successful or what composes in poetry and things like that, that it can help create these things and understand like nuances. It can understand metaphors. It can understand that these things are important.
Yep.
Even though it's just a computer program,
Yep.
they've been able to program it in such a way that it can use the information it has in this way.
That it understands things like idioms and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is really quite cool because here you got When idols whisper a fleeting shade, but in your arms my foundation's laid.
Yeah. And to me, that's definitely, and the thing is, I didn't put in information about my life into it, but it feels like it's referring back to that idea that I had created an idol out of marriage.
Right?
And perhaps because I had copy and pasted in what we had written down as our inner mission statement about our pillars that were anchored.
Mhm.
And it probably includes like those flavors from my past.
Yep.
So it picked up on that, was able to put it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And it's got here about the solid ground, which is where we are in Christ. When you put your life and your identity all encompassed into this marriage thing, God even says, don't build your house on sand, which is anything that can be taken away from you.
exactly.
Build it on the solid rock of Jesus Christ, which
And
is
it's crazy because like you think you have, you realize it hasn't.
right.
And that's the crazy thing. You're like, of course I wouldn't build my foundation on sand. Of course I'm building my foundation on Christ.
Yep.
Because
you
I
was,
honestly
like-
think you are.
Because you're still a Christian, you're still going to church, you're still believing.
And as far as that's what you're doing, but
Yep.
you don't realize that you've actually
Yep.
been building off the side of the base where you should be building.
Okay, somehow I ended up in the sandbox instead of
instead of on it fell off the pad of cement. Yeah, and I love too. It's just the thing that they keep talking about in the chorus. It says, "Not waiting, not just surviving. In your grace, I'm thriving," and that is like so important because the amount of people that talk about how they're waiting and they're surviving their singleness and they don't know how much longer they can handle it. It's just, it's sad
Mhm.
because that was me.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not saying I didn't go through that, but I'm saying that people like shouldn't have to go through that.
No. And it's heartbreaking. Like I know even Christian singers who are single and they would post, I follow them on Facebook or whatever and Instagram. And you would see where they would say, yeah, I'm just praying for my future spouse.
Yeah. As if they were alive, as if they
Yeah.
had them, not just a praying that they would have a future
You're a
spouse.
famous singer. Why are you worried? Look at what life you have.
Yeah. You can be complete. And it says single, but not alone. I walk this path. And it's just, that's the thing. You're single, but not alone.
Yep.
With
Yep.
Christ, you're not. But it just that it keeps going on. In your grace, I'm thriving.
Yep.
And I love to like that. It was constantly like
Yep.
anchored and alive, anchored and alive.
Well, then you've got, for in your will, I find my stride, anchored in you, with you as my guide.
And that's just really understanding.
Anchored. There it is.
Anchored.
We are anchored. Definitely anchored.
And it has like flavors of our different pillars in it too.
Yep.
Active and things like that, which is good because they're all interconnected.
Mhm.
But I just like that in the outro, it says solo journey, but in you complete.
Yeah.
Like I think I switch it around. It says solo journey, in you I'm replete, good and alive, in you complete. And
It
just
rhymes really well.
Yes, I just appreciated complete being at the end. So I
Yeah.
did switch that one around a little. But yeah, but definitely a lot of feeling like how I resonate with that one. The last one that I did was about accountability.
Because actually, accountability is something that's really important as a single person.
Yeah, it's good for everybody, but single people can sometimes think they can handle it themselves.
Yep. They deal with stresses, financial worries, sicknesses, illnesses. And I know this because being a single person for a lot of years, if I was ever in need, I would just tough it out myself.
Mhm.
Going to somebody, I even find myself, even still today, I'm working 2 jobs to make ends meet, but my daughter is sick and I need to be in the hospital a lot. But I have this guilt feeling of that I have to go to work. I have to make money. I have to be able to pay bills, even though I know that my church will help me if I struggle too much.
Mhm.
But I can't do that. I need to be responsible and accountable, and I got to do it myself. I don't need to lean on a lot of And whenever I was in the hospital for a brain surgery, I leaned on people a lot. I had no choice because it was she's going to live or die kind of thing. And there was no way that work, I didn't care about work. They could fire me for all I cared.
Yeah,
It meant nothing at that point. But she's not in a life and death situation right now, but I still want to be with her while she's sitting in the hospital. Can we get on with this? I just want this gone so I can go home. And I get that. So, that balance again, having that feeling. So what did you call this song?
So this one's called Accountable Hearts. So I was trying to keep the name of the pillar within the title,
right.
so that it was understandable, like how it fit in.
Right.
But it was the words that are refrained in the chorus, accountable hearts where the true love shows. It says like the whole chorus, together we stand in the highs and lows, accountable hearts where the true love shows. In the struggles and joys, we go hand in hand. In the bond of unity, together we stand.
Okay, so are we going to listen to that
song?
song?
We'll listen to it right now. Here is Accountable Hearts.
In the journey of life where the winds blow cold, we find strength in the fold where our stories are told. With a heart open wide in the dance of the free, we're found by the promise, we're meet two or three. Together we stand in the highs and the lows, accountable hearts where the true love shows. In the struggles and joys we go hand in hand. In the bond of unity, together we stand. When the burden's heavy and the path is steep, in the company of kin, the faith runs deep. Lifting each other on the road we trod, carrying burdens, fulfilling God's law. Together we stand in the highs and the lows, accountable hearts where the true love shows. In the struggles and joys we go hand in hand. In the bond of unity, together we stand. Not alone we wander, nor solo we fight. In the gathering of souls in the Lord's light, spurring one another to love and deeds. In the fellowship found, we meet our needs. Confessing, praying, in the circle's trust, healing and growing in righteousness we must. The prayer of the just, a powerful creed. In the bond of unity, we find our stand. Together we stand in the highs and the lows, accountable hearts where the true love shows. In the struggles and joys we go hand in hand. In the bond of unity, together we stand. Through the valleys and peaks, in the light and the dark, united we journey, leaving his mark. In the solitude of singleness or the crowd's embrace, in the bond of unity we find our place. From the dawn to the dusk, in the ebb and the flow, together in spirit, in the high and the low. Each step, each day with hearts entwined. In the bond of unity, God's love defined. Together we stand in the highs and the lows, accountable hearts where the true love shows. In the struggles and joys we go hand in hand. In the bond of unity, together we stand. So in the bond of unity, let our song be heard. Together we stand by his holy word, accountable hearts in his love so grand. In the journey of life, together we stand.
And that was Accountable Hearts. So I think too, I chose like an Irish folk way of doing things because I wanted there to be a group singing.
I really quite like this arrangement that you did with this song. I like other nationality music. Like our girls, they like to listen to the Punjabi, Bollywood, and I'm just like,
And it's hard not to bop to.
It's hard not to bop. K-pop, me with K-pop.
I've made a few versions of these songs in K-pop just for fun.
Yes, I love them. They're so great. You should see my playlist. It's already 4,000 words. No, so I'm sorry. Anyways, but I really like the Irish Celtic. I have many. There's a song that Paul McCartney did with Wings called Mull of Kintyre. One of my favorite songs. My cousin Francis and I, when I was 18, it was our song. We'd be walking around Surrey singing at the top of but we were singing. I just love this song, and I still, even to this day, it's very Irish. It's got the bagpipes in it. I want to make
yeah, I love Scotch, Irish, Celtic music. So I'm trying not to overdo it because there was some fiddle in the other one.
Yeah.
But this one I felt like
no bagpipes.
No bagpipes. This one I have to maybe do it.
Yes.
But I was trying to play around with them. I was trying different harmonies, and there were some that were nice that weren't like this specific type of genre where they would start off with one person and they would multiple people in this chorus, but it just didn't resonate with the proper. And then when I hit this genre, and I actually had a different writing of the words, but with the type of music, it wasn't fitting.
Okay.
But I really liked the chorus that one version sang. So I had ChatGPT rewrite it with the idea of the Irish folk cadence and then keeping the chorus. And so I was able to keep the chorus and work through Suno and keep that part and work off of the chorus that I really liked and recreate the song from that using the new words, which went in with the cadence of what a folk song, Irish folk song would be. So it still was tricky to get way and
the right balance.
Yeah, and make sure that it wasn't just like too samey all the way through, but it came out well.
I quite like it. It was like, I quite like this one.
And so it was it really goes around just people like connecting with one another through struggles and joys, through, in the company of kin, our faith runs deep. When the burden's heavy and the path is steep, like it's just confessing, praying, healing and growing. And it's just all, and even when it says, there's one part, I think it's where it's just, we're following. It's there. It says in verse 2, it says, lifting each other on the road we trod, carrying burdens, fulfilling the law of God. Because we're called to bear one another's burdens. We're called to this. And so it's definitely something that as singles, we sometimes have to work at because we can get very autonomous and independent. And I don't need people, or somehow that's failing as an individual because you need someone.
Yeah.
But we all need someone. Like God has created us to be a communal people, and He's created a situation within the church of being able to lean on one another without it having to be because you're married or you're a blood relation. So that's something that as single people, especially, because there'll always be areas that we need accountability in, and that it's good to have people that can walk alongside us when we deal with things that we struggle with. And this is definitely a reminder of that and a celebration of that.
Yeah. I know whenever I'm going through anything with Amber, I lean on people a lot because she is a part of my heart. And my heart hurts heavily when it comes to her. So especially when it's something that could affect her deeply or could cause things to go sideways badly. But when it comes to myself, I'm so very different. Like, it's just, no, I can deal with it. I'm strong enough. I'm a big girl now. Right? The big girl panties.
I'm a big girl now.
Boom. But when it comes to Amber, I feel a lot weaker in trying to hold myself together.
Because there's like only so much that we can do as an individual when in a situation like that.
Well, the funny thing is I can't save my own life.
No.
And I know I can't save hers, but I can't save my own life either. So why am I thinking that I'm trying to
somehow different when it's ourselves?
Yeah, I know. So there's my struggle. I got to get over myself.
So it was a walkthrough of the music that we've developed for Route 77 for single people to connect with. If it's something that you would like to have for your playlist, just let us know. I'll send you the link, and hopefully we can get it to the website where people can download it if they want to. Maybe I can get it up to YouTube eventually, or whatever, and to where people can listen to it.
Because we do have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, you could maybe put them to video.
Yeah.
Make
So when Sora comes out with the videos availability,
put
do
them
that.
on YouTube, because we do have a YouTube channel. We don't have anything on
I
there
have a
yet.
couple of little bits and bits that I
Advertise.
had tried
Yeah.
to do early on, but it takes a lot of work. Don't have that much time.
So
So
eventually,
yeah.
there are things coming down the pipe, and so if you want any of the songs,
Let us know. We'll
Yeah.
pass it along. Like I said, they're mine to do as I wish. I'm not looking to sell them. I just want people to have access to them if they want.
So when we get the website up, then we'll have the songs there, and we'll
Make them available.
don't want anybody else to make money off of them.
No, they're still copyrighted. Like they're still mine.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good. They
Yeah.
could just borrow them and make
They
them
can-
put them on a USB or put them
Yeah.
on your phone.
You can
make some
download
money
it
or-
and listen to them to your heart's content. I'm happy with that. But yeah, no making money off it. Technically, they're still my property. So thank you for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed the songs and that this was just a unexpected episode, but
Yep.
it was good to have.
And next month when you make songs for the other fillers, and we'll
Have a discussion about
complete.
those ones.
Yeah.
Part
We'll-
2 to be continued, because you get a certain amount of renderings per month, and I don't have enough to do another song.
Are you not? When is the rollover?
25th. It's gonna be a while.
It's going to be a while. We have to wait till the 25th of April. Sorry.
We'll have to wait. But there will be a part 2 to this episode down the road. Let us know what you think of the songs. If you want them, let us know. I'll try to find a way to get them to you. And as you find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Route 77 Ministries at gmail.com. That's ROUTE 77 Ministries at gmail.com. We'll see you here next time.
Bye for now.
Bye.
77 where your journey's from.
Thank you for tuning in to this harmonious journey on Route 77. We hope the melodies resonated and provided a deeper insight into our ministry's heart. Your thoughts and engagement mean the world to us, so don't hesitate to reach out and share your reflections. Stay connected for the next part of this musical exploration and more inspiring discussions. Until then, keep thriving in your journey, anchored in your faith and united in love, and remember to live your single life to its fullest.